you know what I was impressed by? With all the shit and say not like us and everything, people talking about Drake, not one chick even erroneously filed a lawsuit or like, I thought there was going to be a few of those to take advantage of the moment. And there's been not one person that's accused Drake of anything.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if some shit starts coming out. Well, from what I understand, when Drake first moved to like Hidden Hills, like they were wilding out in that house.
A lot of people's getting exposed this week, man. DJ Vlad and DJ Akademiks had us sat down, and then they were talking about everything, trending topics and everything like we're talking about.
Right.
Now, they accidentally throw Drake in the fire, man. Calling Drake the next R. Kelly.
We saw
accident, bro.
Now, Akademiks, he messed up with this.
He messed up with that question.
He asked
you see how he backpedaled real quick? It was like, so, you know, with Little Dirk. And
when Drake first moved to like Hidden Hills, like they were wilding out in that house. And him and his homies were doing some shit that probably got covered up somehow. You know what I'm saying? And now maybe people got paid.
I remember this party. Not like.
I heard some stories, you know, but I'm not going to mention them.
It was getting it in type shit.
I mean, some things could happen.
Vlad just sat back when he heard the question and was like,
yeah, as soon as he did that, I'm like,
yeah.
Because the thing is, Cloud Babies, he's never questionable when it comes to credibility.
Pretty credible in his sources and in his information.
We always say that, he's a culture vulture, the way he move, he's a feds, this and that, da-da-da. But at the same time, he did solve the Tupac case at the same time. But can we call him a feds? Yes and no. There's always room to debate that. But at the same time, he's always credible.
Well,
so now, as soon he did that,
yeah. And then he basically, said, I wouldn't be surprised if more situations start coming to light.
Maybe he's paying them off.
I think Drake is just paying them off. And so, I mean, listen, if you look at the R. Kelly situation, that whole case hinged around the video of him peeing on that underage girl. That girl made a statement to police that is not me in the video. During the actual trial, her and her whole family were on a cruise and were not able to be reachable.
Wait, she wasn't there for the trial?
No. So, this whole time, R. Kelly had been paying her off, and when he went to prison, he got locked up, she filed for bankruptcy.
Really?
Because the payment stopped. And then she took the stand later on in his second trial and said, yeah, that was me, and, I was
getting paid off, whatever.
I don't think she said that, but she's like, I just wanted to be submissive to him and something, but yeah, that was me. So you see how these things work. Like, as long as you keep paying, that person will be quiet. But now you're a fucking ATM machine to this person.
that's his personality, bro.
Yeah.
Because, look what he's doing, bro. He always talk about people's girl, what he's doing and stuff like that. Perfect example of how he just mentioned Cade Cunningham in this new lyric. He dropped 3 songs.
It's fuckboy behavior,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He dropped 3 songs in the past 48 hours, right? Shopping Spree.
Yeah, okay.
Waiting to Exhale with 21 Savage. And then the other one name was Cheerios. Waiting to Exhale was beautiful, awesome song.
Okay.
That's how I like Drake. You know what I mean? With 21 Savage, that's a dope track. But in Shopping Spree, he's here mentioning he fucked some chick in Cade Cunningham's Crocs.
Yeah.
Now people is like, come on, dude,
it's a weird move. That's what people are saying. That's a weird move. Now, it's not as explicit as maybe people are thinking that Drake came in the room right after Cade got done with his Crocs on the floor and then slipped into those Crocs.
Paint that picture?
Yeah, but why? Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is true.
Biggest clues that we had came across last night about Hidden Hills was Splash Brothers. Splash Brothers was an original song that had featured Drake and French Montana. Later on, the song had came out, but it didn't have Drake anymore. It only had Lil Wayne. So Splash Brothers, the original song, the first verse has Drake in it. And Drake talks about the Hidden Hills. Drake says, yeah, on Double MG, I'll F a rapper's wife. She ain't even my type, but I'll make the sacrifice. Have her splitting thighs like she work at Gladys Knights. Yeah, I was never nothing nice. Guys know the real secrets left in Hidden Hills, and this is the part that we were talking about.
50 million for the crib, where you want me to stay?
So he says 50 million for the crib, where you want me to stay, implying that he's talking about a house. Well, are you talking about a house on the Hidden Hills? Because then Rick Ross has shared the shirt, the back of his shirt says Hidden Hills. So now I'm thinking, well, wow, does Rick Ross know what's going on with Hidden Hills? Does Rick Ross know what's going on with what DJ Vlad had talked about?
What you're saying is, and what Vlad is saying, is that Drake and his team have been paying off a lot of cases.
I believe
keeping
that.
them hushed.
Yeah.
And if the money dries up, we are going to see a lot more.
Yes.
Okay. That's super interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised. Like, based on all of the rhetoric and the way Vlad reacted was like, damn, he's heard stories. What are those stories? Because that's what intrigues me. I'm like, we hear the stories of the Diddy stuff. We hear the stories.
We've been hearing
them, yeah.
But we never
seen them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
But at least you hear them.
Exactly.
Speak no, hear no, evil. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Like,
and there's always type of little evidence that's out there too, like flaky evidence. Like we've been saw Drake, with that 17-year-old chick and this and that.
That's all shaky. Like, I haven't
little
seen
little
anything
shaky.
like,
Same
in
thing
no
with-
R. Kelly
same-
video.
Same thing with R. Kelly.
You
and then-
saw the goddamn stream. The golden stream.
Yeah, you saw that, but after that, there were mad other allegations even before that with the Aaliyah thing and everything like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's always little evidence. Now we're gonna go and look back. If that ever happened to Drake, we're gonna be like, yo, we were there, we knew it the whole time. Like, you know what I mean? Like the same thing with the Diddy stuff. We always question them, like saying mad wild sus stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So now we look back at those videos, like, yo, he was really wild in there. This is where he was on that pink cocaine, like, you know what I mean?
It's seen in a different light. The perspective shift goes, oh, now you see what it is for.
The girls don't even have to be young. It's just like we know he talk about is girls, messing with somebody's girl.
And the crew. Loving the crew.
And the crew. And one of them dumbass crew niggas is gonna do something dumb.
They for sure did.
And then Drake is gonna be
Drake is held accountable, implicated.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Baca's gonna do something wild,
You know what?
and then he probably wasn't even there, but because that's the house, the location, probably was playing his music, or all of a sudden Drake was there.
Baca got a weird case.
Why is he still around?
Okay, dude, I'm saying, like, so this is probably the case. Especially when Vlad's talking about the stories, that wouldn't be surprised. That doesn't surprise me. That sounds exactly like how things went down.
Yeah, you can't control the boys, bro.
No.
You can't control the boys.
You have all sorts of situations like that,
Yeah.
Even what happened with Akademiks. When you have the boys around, they do wild stuff.
They do wild stuff, man.
He knows
and
more than
that's
anyone.
Why, poor Drake, I can't say poor Drake. He's catching L's left to back, and then he's not paying attention to what's going on. Not only with the Cade situation, right?
Well, he doubled down with the Cade thing, right?
He
So he took
did.
the picture in the locker room with the Crocs on.
With the Crocs on. Let
Y'all have a
you
look
guys
at this.
know he give 2 Fs.
Look at this right here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then right after that, after he dropped those 3 songs, getting in trouble with Cade Cunningham's lyrics and stuff, here goes Kendrick. Kendrick was like, all right, I'm just going to stomp in your grave a little bit more. I'm dropping Luther's music video.
Not even tripping, I won't stress you out. I might even settle down.
Yeah, I don't.
Black and white mix, shot in like it was movie worthy.
Yeah,
Although
incredible.
Drake dropped that IMAX Nokia, that was cute. That was all right. Kendrick was like, I'm going to show you how to do it properly, telling your story.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was good. It was really good. Well shot. Like you're talking about the director of that was a Canadian
Yes.
female director that actually directed some of Drake's stuff in the past.
Yes. So that's subtle shots that Kendrick was taking.
But she did a great job.
Great job. Great of storytelling.
Selection for shots, color scheming, and like they're carrying
Corina
on.
Evans, that's her name.
That's her name.
Corina Evans.
They're carrying on like you were talking about the thematics that are involved in GNX. It's dope. 100% dope. Now, I don't think that Luther is going to be this like crazy busting track that's going to like dominate the charts, but
It has been. It was in the #1 for like
Yeah.
weeks and stuff. It was beating Nokia.
oh damn.
Yes, it was
Damn.
dominating.
Well, there you go.
That's one of the songs from GNX that's been rocking, like people
Yeah, yeah,
automatically love.
Oh, it's a
when
great
he
song.
Did, when
It's a
he
great
did that
song.
in the Super Bowl, everybody was excited about it. That brought a lot
Yeah.
of new fans, and plus they're gonna go on the tour in the next
Yeah.
4 or 5 weeks. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure that it was topping for weeks on end and like that. I thought
it was been
I thought
dominating.
Nokia took that spot because there was like the whole.
it
rhetoric.
fluctuates and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Luther was dominating. Like right now, when I last checked,
Mm-hmm.
it was like #2 or #3, when Nokia was like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Now because he dropped again, watch, he's gonna
Oh,
be
like
like
the music
#1.
video.
Yeah, Luther.
We'll have a look. Yeah, it's dope. No denying it's dope as hell. But it might be a war of attrition, man. Cause look, Drake put out 3 for the Kendrick 1.
Yeah.
Interesting. It might be a thing of like I'm just gonna snowball and just keep putting it out. Cause if it's still good enough, because you said at least you had one good track with 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 3 against 1. We'll just keep playing this game.
Yeah.
You
Just
see how
flood the
much-
market, man.
Yeah, flood the market.
And whatever people really like, do a music video for it and then put it in your album that you're supposed to release with Kanye.
Oof. Yeah, he's got too much going on.